I would hate to see the same thing happen down here again. I mean, everybody wants it now, but over a period of time, it obviously kind of wears off, and then we're left with another Roosevelt who is my share. And anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from and how I'm looking at it. And I would also like to make a couple other changes to the motion, and we'll see where they go. But what I'm looking at is on 9.2 in A and B, where it says 200,000 a year for 15 years. I would also like to add in lieu contributions. So like if it's land, or it's going to be set on, whether it's county or city land, then it's considered the 200,000 a year contribution. And also in 5.7, where it is talking, they made contract with member employees, that also be added to in lieu contributions for that member. And those are the two changes that I would like to see added to this proposal.
I appreciate the input from Supervisor Olwell, but again, my motion serves to just cement the bonding between the city and county, and that's basically what I wanted to achieve. And again, there's plenty of things that I feel the JPA could look at in the future, but I hope to come out of here today with an agreement, with a approved JPA that sees both sides committed to do this work for the public, and they've spoken loud and clear, whether it's on a ballot or not a ballot. We've heard the voices, and the volume's been turned way up, and I hear you. I hope to help be a part of making it a reality. Thanks. So I respectfully would not amend my motion.
Jared?
Just a point of clarification. Board Member Alba, there's a section of 5.8. 5.8 that I believe should cover most of the items that you just brought up that's included in the document. I'm not sure if it addresses all your concerns, but I think it does leave those options open.
Okay. Vito?
Thank you, Jared.
Okay, my question is this, and I agree with everything that said. Mr. Alba, you're 100% right. Everybody wants a pool. I don't know why a joint powers agreement should be a simple piece of paper between that body and this body. When you start putting a lot of verbiage in it, words that an attorney would put into it, those are legal issues. And remember, every attorney that goes to court, one of them loses. So our decision here should be based on what your needs are. Your needs are, you want a pool. Our need is, how do we achieve what you want in the easiest way without bringing up a big word that's happening in California, and that's the word of bankruptcy. We don't have unlimited funds. I gave you a sample of $500,000 that's sitting because we couldn't pay for it. We were just paying the interest on it. Same thing you would be doing. Do we want a pool? You better believe it. This body here and that body wants to get you a pool. How do we get it? That body and this body should be able to get it for you. That's all I'm saying, and that's all we've ever said. I have no concern. I look at this, I see a lot of verbiage. When you start going to take personal property that the city has outside as a cushion, in case we get into a real bad financial strife, we have a reserve to come after to satisfy a debt. And that's what we're doing, and that's all we're doing. And I concur with what's being said here, but I would like a simple JPA. I don't need a lot of verbiage, very simple. You know, we're gonna try to commit $200,000. They may have it, we don't have it. We've never had it. So we're gonna have to find it. And one of the ways was that I read to you in here. And that's gonna be, maybe you're gonna do with one less policeman. Maybe you're gonna do with one less fireman. I don't wanna do that, because that's what your protection is. Public safety is number one. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not against the pool, none of us are. But let's work together. This body and this body right here should be able to get together in a meeting between us to get your pool answered and come up with a good, easy, simple document that will satisfy everybody. Get a hole and fill it with water and put a building around it. I was born and raised in this county, and I'm almost 80 years old. So I go back a long ways. In the winter times, if you get winters like when I was a kid, you ain't gonna swim in that thing for 5 months. So I'm saying, let's do the thing right the first time, not the second time. We wanna do it right for you right now. We're all for a pool, and that's where I'm coming from. But this JPA, we're going back and forth. You're gonna sell real estate property to satisfy a note. Why do you say that? It's because you know that you don't have the money. So you're gonna sell property. And that's what I'm saying. Let's do it right the first time, and that's where I'm coming from, Mr. Chairman.
All right, the rest of the board of supervisors. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I have the mic. So just for clarification's sake, there is a motion and a second, I believe, and if possible, I'd like to review for the city council what those proposed changes are. Does anyone mind if I go through each of them? So the document that this is being based off is draft number 3, dated 11/12/13 in the top right corner. And this is essentially the document that the city council had previously approved. And so what's before the Board of Supervisors are the following amendments. To add the word cycles to section 3.2, to change the word from authority to auditor in section 9.2D, in section 3.1, to add the language to the second sentence, it shall remain in effect, and the new language shall be for 15 years from the date of adoption, thereafter terminated pursuant to Article 11. In section 5.3, to strike the words power of eminent domain, use of power. So 5.3 would strike the words of use of power of eminent domain. There would be an addition to 9.2, creating letter E, stating that any debt financing for construction of the pool facility must be ratified by each member of the authority before being approved by the authority's board. And then the final change would be to Article 13, withdrawal. The County of Lassen and the City of Susanville shall not withdraw from this agreement for 15 years from the effective date. Subsequently, any member may withdraw within 90 days notice as is currently stated. Are those the only proposed changes right now before the board?
Yes. They go into that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it would be prudent before the board takes, the action for us to have some discussion with the city council regarding these amendments so that it wouldn't have to come back again and to identify if there are any other changes or any other items that the city council would require to be included, keeping these on the table right now. Does that work for the board of supervisors? So, city council members, those are obviously changes to the existing agreement. Are there any items that that you're uncomfortable with, or that you?
I appreciate the board and the council working together on this matter. I agree with Larry on this. Let's get the JPA formed, and then from there's going to be many revisions throughout time. We can make those modifications later, but I make a motion to approve the changes with the amendment.
We're going to hold off on. We'll hold off on our motion until after the board is out.
We have a motion on the board.
Yes.
You know, this has been going on for the last, 5-6 months now. And we've been going back and forth, and that's why we're sitting here today, is to finally put this thing to rest, and so that the JPA can finally form and start making some decisions. I won't say much more than that. We've had our arguments in the boardroom, and at this point, I will second your motion, and let's vote.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I just have a few words to say. Like it's been mentioned before, this is only the starting line. This is only the beginning. This JPA is going to confirm or disconfirm that the swimming pool is going to be built. I still think that people have something to say about that. This JPA is only like solving a crime. We're going to answer who, what, when, where, why, and how. Get it all. Thank you.
Just a clarification point, before I vote on anything, I want to make sure it's written document in front of me before, because words get to change, and before you know it, they're written, and you swear to it, you're hung out to dry. So I concur with what's being said, providing that, when I have time, because like I told you in the beginning of this meeting, I've seen this paper today. This one I've had, so I've highlighted this one as a concern. And I'm concerned for people that, there's some things that bother me. When we appoint somebody and we can't take them out, except every July, and then we're going to give them the power to own property and be able to make commitments that you elect us to do. I have a problem with that. So that's the reason, all I want to do is see the documentation in front of me, exactly what we're voting on. And before I commit your dollars, that's all I'm asking. You give me the written thing, and I concur with what's being said here, but I will not make a vote, and I will abstain from any vote until I see a written document that a signature is going to be attested to, and then I'll vote on that at one of our meetings, and it can go back together. But I'm 100% for a pool, and that's where we're going.
Yeah, I think you have to remember that this JPA will be comprised of 2 elected officials from the city, 2 elected officials from the county, and they will appoint a member from the public. So the elected people of this community are still represented, and this JPA cannot do nothing if the elected officials don't okay. So with that, I think the Board of Supervisors is ready to vote. Mr. Chapman.
I would just like to add one comment, and for those who probably aren't familiar with the functioning of joint powers agreements or authorities, we actually have several that exist between the city and the county that are all very successful. There's never been an effort to blow any of them up or to withdraw. They go out and take care of critical work that needs to be done. Our Solid Waste Authority, the Air Pollution Control Board, transportation, LAFCO, we meet in a joint fashion like that. So the model that this is created around, is a proven, tested, and successful model. And I think that we should go ahead and get this done and get started. As you said, Mr. Mayor, this is the starting line, and the pressure is going to be on those 5 individuals that will be given the task to put this together and bring it back at an early date, so that the 2 bodies can appreciate the work that can be done there, and at some point in time, the voters will have an opportunity to ratify their support of this effort.
Madam Clerk, would you poll the Board of Supervisors?
Aye.
Supervisor Alba?
No.
Supervisor Lassen?
Aye.
Supervisor Hammond?
Aye.
Supervisor Potter?
Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. We have a motion on the, would you like to repeat the motion? Tuesday with the amendments made. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the vote? The council?
Councilmember McBride?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald? Councilmember Caligiuri? And Mayor DeBoer?
Aye.
Okay, the Board of Supervisors will be adjourning this meeting, and then we will be reconvening the continued meeting from last Tuesday on the RCD. So, Board of Supervisors is adjourned.
Likewise for the city council and the division members.
Okay, now the Board of Supervisors will continue the meeting from November 12th, after a short recess.